Hello there everybody, I'm Jawa, and in this video we will be taking a closer look at a custom LEGO Republic brick set. Timmy is known to have some of the best custom LEGO Star Wars sets, including Republic gunships, ATTEs, build your own battle packs, and they all come in different clone legions, so you can improve your clone army. I bought a custom Shadow 501st viewing for $75, and I'm going to share my experience with you all to find out if these sets really are a scam or not. Keep in mind that his sets are more expensive because there are a lot more costs that go into making these sets, like buying the parts off of Bricklink, paying the designers, and so much more. I will link Timmy's website in the description below, and you can also use code MNR to get 5% off your order since I don't have a code. So without further ado, I'm gonna open up this bad boy. Alright, let's open this package. Alright, so here we go. So first thing you'll see inside is his business card. And I have a couple of these, and it looks like you can get a little bit more off your order if you make a video, which I'm doing that, so that's pretty nice. Alright, so let's open this up. So we got one giant bag, and it says Shadow Viewing. Alright. So it looks like we got a bunch of parts in here. These bags will be very nice to use in the future. Alright, so the parts look pretty new, and that's a good thing to always see because you never know. I mean, sometimes people get unlucky and have some used parts, and I expect there will be a couple used parts in here, but it looks like for the most part they're pretty new. Yeah, I think these look really good. The black might be where there might be some used parts, maybe, for some scratching. But overall, I think these look pretty good. The windshield might have some scratches. I want to take a look at that windshield. I think this is one of the pieces that I expect to not be brand new because they're kind of rare. Yeah, it has some scratching if you can see that, but overall, I think it looks really good. It doesn't have too many. The scratches aren't giant, and I think it works for what it is. Yeah. Okay, so one of these missile pieces is definitely used, but I definitely have some from my own collection, but that's gonna be a little problem, and they're not that expensive pieces. If I can zoom in on it, yeah, it has some like teeth marks. Yeah, like I said, I expected some used parts, but overall they look pretty brand new. Alright, so I just finished sorting all these parts. All of the parts in these, this pile, I might just actually just mix those in. Yeah, that might be easier. This pile, and this pile were all like brand new parts and very, very slightly used parts, or scratched parts that might have been, very slightly scratched parts that might have been scratched in shipping, because some of the tiles you'll see like they'll have a little bit of scratches. You might not be able to see, but now you can see just a little bit, because tiles very easily can be scratched because they don't have studs to block the pieces from hitting the flat parts. So that's why you see a little bit more scratches on the tiles. This small pile right here is some used parts that are kind of acceptable, because this windshield cockpit piece is very hard to get new. They probably cost like $2 or $3 new or something like that, because LEGO doesn't use that piece much anymore. So I'm gonna put that over there. And then some of these parts, they do have scratches on the back, but I don't think they show in the build, so I don't think that matters too much to me. And some of these tiles have a little bit of scratching, more than normal, but those might have just been a little bit used, and then they got scratched in shipping and all that. So these ones are slightly excusable for some reasons. These parts, and this is like maybe 2% of all of the pieces, maybe 1% actually, it's not that many. Some of them are very dusty, and I'll just have to clean those, which is not a problem. Some of them are dirty, and I might need to get a new one for my collection or email him. You can see that one's like unacceptable. Same with this piece I showed earlier. It has like dog bite marks, which it might have been from his dog or something, or the seller's dog maybe. This one, I forget what was wrong with this one. Let me have a look around. It just had a lot of scratches on it. There's just some pieces that might need cleaned or replacements. Like this one is a little dirty, and I might just replace it. But they're not all that rare parts, so you won't have much trouble finding some of those parts, or just emailing him. I think he might send you replacements if you email him about that. So I might go ahead and do that. But while I was waiting for him to email the instructions, I just thought I'd show you guys all this, and it might be a couple hours until I get to build the set. But overall, I'm very, very pleasantly surprised by how good condition these parts are. I paid $75 for these. The set would probably cost like $125 if all the parts were brand new and all. Alright, so right now I just cleaned these parts that were very dusty, and they're looking to be pretty clean now and look like just all the other parts, so I think these are going to be all good. So it's a little later in the day, and as you can hear, fireworks are going off because it's July 3rd, the day before July 4th. And my neighborhood's going crazy, but I got the instructions from Timmy, and I just wanted to show you guys what those looked like. I'm not going to show you how to build it because you got to pay for that, but there are quite a few steps. If I can scroll to them, it's kind of lagging. There's about 180 steps, which is quite a few for a set that's only has 423 pieces or something like that. Alright, so I've been building for about like 30 minutes, and I've come across a problem. So you can see that, and there goes another firework. Right in this step, there are these clips, and it's going to be on the other side too. There's a clip, a 1x1 tile or plate with a clip on it, and he doesn't seem to include any. So I'm going to have to contact him and see if I can get some of them from him. So that's a problem. Another problem is I've noticed some of the pieces to be a little bit more scratched up than I thought they were, and a little bit more dirty, so I might actually end up taking this apart when it's finished, and then I might clean all the parts and then rebuild it, so that might be a thing that I'm gonna have to do. Alright, so it's been about like a week and a half since the last section of this video, and I honestly kind of forget what I did in the last section, but I just wanted to update you guys. I do have these pieces for the viewing, and I did get my Bricklink order for the 2 parts that I was missing in the mail yesterday. So I'm gonna go add those to the ship, and then I'm gonna start reviewing the set in a little bit. So I emailed Timmy, and he said that he'll give me free shipping on my next order. Here's the viewing all built up and in hand, and honestly, I really love it. It's way bigger than I thought it would be. I've gotta say that if this were an actual Lego set, it would probably be $40 to $50 based on like how many pieces and how big the set is. And I think $75 for the set is well worth it, because the other $35 would have to go in shipping and paying the designers and buying the parts from Bricklink and stuff. So I'd say that this is a really worth it set just for the price alone and how big the set is. The color scheme is really beautiful as well, and I do have a minifigure up here for a comparison during the whole video. The blue and black go really well together with the subtle hints of dark gray. And later on, I'm going to put this on a stand in flight mode, but right now this is at landing mode, and it's at the position that I'll have it on my shelf for a while until I get a straight display stand. I do have bent display stands, but they don't display it as well as I wish it would with a straight display stand. So the way that you're going to want to pick this thing up is you're going to want to grab it by the front right here, and then the back, there is this 2x4 tile down here. And then you're also want to grab it by here as well, because there are a lot of fragile parts, and one piece just came off. I'm gonna have to fix that. Alright, so now that it's fixed, I'm just gonna show you the bottom before I break it again. As you can see, it's quite curved off. I can feel a lot of parts as I'm holding it right now being moved, so this is not a good position to hold it, and it is a mock. So it's not going to be held up to the same standards as Lego sets are nowadays. Before I go into depth with this is not a thing that you're going to want to get a child. This is for adults and teenagers for display only. And maybe if you want to, you can move the wings, but it's really mainly for display, and it looks beautiful on display. But if you really want a playset viewing, you should just probably go out and buy an actual set or wait for them to make a new one, because this thing is way too fragile to play with. I've already tried like swooshing it around, and it's really hard to not hit some pieces off. The engines are really beautiful, and they use this design with these 8 clips on these like circular clip pieces. I don't even know what they're called, but they're used on Droidicas a lot of the times. but they look really good. These two parts back here always tend to seem to fall off, and that is because they're not held on the outside. They're just stuck on, so it's really easy to knock them off. So that's probably another reason why this is not for kids. Here's the set up on the stand, and this is an iDisplay stand if you would like to know what it is. I will put the link for their website down in the description below. They make incredible display stands. I've been using them for almost 2 years now, and they help me display sets tremendously. They're very beautiful to look at. They're clear, so it looks like the ships are actually flying, and I totally recommend using them over just like using Lego bricks to make your own stand. These are way better, and they're around like $10 each, and if you get the right amount and the right size and the right angle, they work really well. But with that aside, you can actually take the wings and you can put them into flight mode, and this just ripped off because I pulled it from the wrong way. You're supposed to push this in and pull them back, and so this viewing doesn't work well with the curved display stands, and it gets caught on the side for one of the sides of the viewing. So I'd recommend getting a straight stand, which is what I'm going to get eventually, but this is what I'll have to work with for now. With this display stand, it really shows the beauty of the Shadowfire First viewing in air, and you can actually take off the cockpit and look inside. There's not too much detail. It's just like a seat with 2 cheese slopes at the top, but you can put a clone in there, and it doesn't work too well because there's not enough space for him to sit upright, but you can just like sit him in there and then place the cockpit on, and he looks pretty good. As you can see, he's kind of leaning forward, but I just sat him in there. I didn't even connect him to any studs. I just let him sit in there, and you can see these 2 plates were coming off, and that's another flaw with this set, but it's just how it has to be to look nice. And once you get it on display, you're probably not going to want to take it off unless you're dusting it or something, so it's not a big problem with this set. I think the biggest problem is that some of the parts look a little off when you get up close, but from far away they look brand new and awesome. Just some of the parts were a little bit more scratched up than I'd like, but if you make use of them and push them into like the parts that you're not going to see as much, it really helps. You can also actually take an astromech droid, and I'll just take an old R2-D2 head, and you can actually put it up at the top. I'd say my favorite part about building this set was these 2 sections right here that are holding the wings from the body of the ship. Those were very fun to make, and they are very circular, so it was pretty satisfying to put them on. And they just pop off of these jumpers. Ooh, it might fall off the stand there. And the wing fell off. So more proof that it's probably not good for kids to get. It just goes onto these jumpers, and you can just push it on just like that, and it's on there. So those were really fun to build, but all in all, I really like this set. I'm gonna give this set an 8 out of 10 rating. I think it's phenomenal, but there are some flaws that probably could be easily fixed and make it even better. I think that Timmy is telling the truth that most of the pieces are brand new, and some of them are a little bit more scratched up than others because of the rarity. Like the cockpit piece was a little bit more scratched up, but everything looks really good from farther away. So would I recommend buying any of his sets or this set? Yes, I would recommend starting out with cheaper sets or maybe even minifigures at first. That's what I did, and then going on to the bigger sets. So with that, I want to thank you guys all for watching this video. I hope I gave you some good advice when buying from Timmy on what sets you want and what they are like. I would totally recommend buying from his website sometime. His sets are phenomenal. I especially like the Shadowfire First sets, as you can tell. The black and the blue and then the hints of dark gray is just a phenomenal color scheme in my opinion. If you haven't already, make sure to leave a like down below. Make sure to subscribe for more videos coming in the near future, including a room tour pretty soon. So if you stayed to the end, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.